What if I told you about a boy who could just memorize everything by just reading it once? This is how he even got the name Ekashruti Dara. He was born in a village near Kerala to a Brahmin couple, and they named him Shankara, meaning giver of prosperity. They had spent their entire life serving the poor. However, his father died at a young age. Shankara was a brilliant student. In fact, he had read the Puranas by the age of 2 and had memorized all of the Vedas by the age of 8. Incredible, isn't it? Well, then he wanted to become a sannyasi. However, his mother did not give him permission to do so. He respected that decision. So, one day while they were bathing in Periyar river, what happened is that a crocodile got hold of Shankara and his mother yelled for help, but no one came. However, Shankara remained calm and prayed to God, and it is said that God said that if he becomes a sannyasi, the crocodile will let him go. And so he asked that from his mother, and his mother gave him permission to become a sannyasi. And that is the story of how Shankara became a sannyasi. After Shankara grew up, he became a great debater. In fact, he took part in such debates and defeated false pandits and priests who had misinterpreted the Shastras. So one day while he was walking down the road with his disciples saw a poor man, Chandala, blocking his path. So they asked him to move. However, Chandala refused to move for a Brahmin. And so Shankaracharya went ahead and spoke with him. Chandala said, "Why should I move for you? Is the soul within me different from the soul within you?" And after listening to this, Shankaracharya was awestruck because all of this had come out of a man who was an untouchable. And hence, Shankaracharya realized that the soul within all of us is the same. And he started preaching how everyone should get the knowledge of the Vedas irrespective of their caste. He also said that we can all attain enlightenment irrespective of our social or economic backgrounds. So, Shankara was born in Kerala. Shankaracharya formulated and preached about a new philosophy. So, what was this? This was the philosophy of Advaita. So, let's learn what that is. So, this Advaita Vedanta basically was that the soul of an individual is not different from that of God or Brahman. Hence, the nature of existence is non-dual. For example, if a drop of water falls into the ocean, then that drop of water becomes a part of that ocean, right? You cannot distinguish between that particular drop and the other drops that are there in the ocean. So the drop becomes a part of the ocean, and that is what this theory is trying to say, that the soul becomes a part of the God or Brahman. So he said, Shankaracharya said that after attaining enlightenment or knowledge, the soul gets absorbed in the Brahman or God. Unfortunately, Shankaracharya died at a very young age of 32. He taught people only to follow the Vedas and ignore the complex rituals and ceremonies that was there in the society back then. Other than that, he wanted equality. So he preached that equality began to spread through his philosophy of this Advaita Vedanta, which we just learnt about. And so, at the end, he was the one who inspired many saints who later adopted his ideas in the Bhakti movement. Shankaracharya even left his learning institutions at 4 different places in India. These included the Dwarka Matha, which is there in Gujarat, the Jyotir Matha, which is there at Badrinath in Uttarakhand, Govardhan Matha, which is there in Puri in Orissa, and the Sharada Matha, which is there in Karnataka. So during that point of time, what was happening is that there was a lot of Brahmin dominance over other castes, because there was a caste system and the Brahmins were dominating or exploiting the other castes, and also Sanskrit was used at this point of time. Hence, the people in Hinduism were getting really tired of these rituals and even the caste system. Hence, the Bhakti movement came. So the Bhakti movement started in South India and it gradually spread to northern parts of the country. It started in South India and it was supported by Chera, Pandya and Chola kingdoms. So these kingdoms supported the Bhakti movement and therefore it spread to other parts of the country. Take a look at this video here. This here is a part of a theatrical play written by Shankaradeva. He was a devotee of Lord Vishnu, and this here depicts the story of Lord Rama and Lord Vishnu. Today, Satriya, this dance form, is part of one of the 8 classical dances in India. So, now coming to Shankaradeva, he was a very important saint. He preached in this part in Assam, and so he used the language Assamese because these saints were using regional languages instead of using Sanskrit, right? He was a devotee of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, and he was against this caste system that was there in the society back then. He spread the message of equality. Because he was against the caste system, he obviously spread the message of equality and said that everyone is equal irrespective of their birth. And he was the one responsible for establishing Namghars. So what are these Namghars? These Namghars are basically prayer houses where bhajans are sung, and these are the most common thing in Assam. In fact, more than temples you can find these Namghars in Assam. And they are also used as a meeting place as well as theaters for dramatic performances. Even in this picture here, you can see several mics. So you can understand that this place was used for meetings as well as for theatrical plays, right? So now let's take a look at how a Namghar really is. Next we come to Chaitanya. He was another saint who was preaching in West Bengal, and therefore he was using the regional language which was Bengali. Now he was a devotee of Lord Krishna, and he believed in idol worshipping. As we already know that these saints were using songs and hymns to spread their teachings, so Chaitanya here also wrote devotional songs about Krishna Leela. Next we come to Ramanuja. Now he was in Tamil Nadu and he preached in Tamil Nadu using the language Tamil. And he was also a worshipper of Lord Vishnu. Now Ramanuja was against the caste system, and also he was against the complex rituals and customs that was there in Tamil Nadu at that point of time. In fact, he preached devotion through love. Now coming to Maharashtra, there were many different saints. A few notable ones are Jnaneshwar, Namdeva, Tukaram and Eknath. Now, since they were in Maharashtra, they were preaching in the language Marathi, and they were devotee of Lord Vitthal, which was another incarnation of Lord Vishnu itself. So, they were known as Varakaris, and they were people from the lower castes. However, they wrote devotional songs which were known as abhangs, and even today we can listen to such devotional songs, and they completely rejected complex rituals. Now, most of the saints, they renounced all of their worldly possessions and their families, right? However, these saints, they did not believe in that, and they lived with their families, and hence they did not give up their worldly desires. Here is Gyaneshwar, and he wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, which was in Marathi, and its name was Gyaneshwari. So, people who could not earlier read the Bhagavad Gita because it was written in Sanskrit could now easily read it. Here you can listen to an abhang or a devotional song written by Tukaram.
तुझे चरण देख लिया तुझे चरण देख लिया तुझे चरण देख लिया.
Next we have Ramananda. Now he was preaching in Uttar Pradesh in Varanasi, right? And so he used to talk and he used to preach in Hindi because that was the language that was used there back then. And he was a devotee of Lord Rama. Now, he was against the caste system and also against untouchability. So, he also wanted equality and he wanted simplified rules for worship. So, you must have heard about Kabir's Dohas, right? Well, Kabir Das himself was inspired by Ramananda, and so he was one of his followers along with Ramdas. Now coming to Basava, who used to preach in Karnataka using the language Kannada. Now he was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and he was the one who started this Virashaiva movement. What was this Virashaiva movement about? This was basically that they wanted equality amongst everyone, and not only inside the caste system but also equality between a man and a woman. So he was against discrimination against women, and just like the other Bhakti saints, he was also against, or he also opposed rituals and the caste system. So here we learnt about different Bhakti saints who were preaching in different states using their own regional languages. They also used devotional songs so that people would listen to them. These were only a few saints, and we are going to learn about more such Bhakti saints in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free on deltastep.com or download the DeltaStep app and get easy access to more than 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million+ questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and get a chance to win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So register for free now.